Welcome back to my channel, everyone. This is Graceful Art Designs. This is a little painting I did quite some time ago with some pearlescent paints. And you can see the pearlescent violet and the pearlescent gold, yellow gold. And there was also some yellow, I think. A lot of red. Anyway, I enjoyed it at the time. I thought it was pretty, but quite formless and quite pointless to look at. So today I'm going to shape it into something different, and I could do a rose, but I have already painted a number of roses recently, so I think I'm going to turn it into tulips and some other little flowers around the tulips. And the tulips will be hanging in different directions. I'll see. I don't have a picture or anything. I'm going to just do it as I go along. And I will use some pearlescent paints, but I'll also use some metallic paints. And pearlescents only show up if you use them over a darker color, so I can use them over the red. I would have liked to use green for the stems, but I don't have green. But I do have some silver, which I used before on a painting and which is still wet, so I might use that for the stalks. Anyway, I'll get going and I'll bring you back to see what I've done. I could use ordinary colors here, but I don't want to. I think since I already have all this metallic paint on here, I might as well stick to metallics. So for the stalks, I would have liked to use the pearlescent green, but since I don't have any, I'm going to put the silver down and see how that looks. I don't want to use ordinary green because I think it just won't blend in with this painting. So and if the silver doesn't show up well enough, then I will add some copper. I mean, I could try the pearlescent blue, but I don't think it's going to look very good here. So it seems like my silver is not that fresh after all. So this is just a sort of rough sketch diagram that I'm doing on here. It's going to look very different in the end. But since I don't have a photograph or anything to go from, I just have some ideas in my head. So I can't really reach with one hand. So it's just what is it? Well, it could be a field, but I don't think it's a field. It's just an abstract bunch of flowers. And the paint, it doesn't seem to be picking up very well. I don't know why, but I'll keep trying. It may require several layers. This is the silver, that is. And I'm going to try and sort of outline the tulip with this gold, but I don't know if it's going to be strong enough. I might have to use some copper. Otherwise, I mean, there are traces of ordinary yellow, which I could just use yellow here. So I don't know where I'm going to use my pearlescents. I was really hoping to use them somewhere. I could add some. I mean, there is violet in there, and it's very pretty. And I could add some more. Well, I will, to shape those petals into something. At the moment they are just completely shapeless. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think I should do. It would be interesting to hear what other people would do with a painting like this. Because each abstract piece of acrylic art I use has got its own sort of potential, its own possibilities that one could do something with. And maybe someone has a better vision for a painting than I do. So I would love to hear. Well, the gold wasn't showing up at all, so I'm going to have to use some ordinary yellow. I think there'll be no point in adding bronze or other metal to this. But I just wanted to show you the pearlescent tube. You can see there it's a square, a clear square. That means it's transparent, and it shows up best on black, or if you're using this as blue, it would show up best on a plain acrylic blue underneath, or black or other dark color. They do also show up on white, not as well, but they're best contrasted with a darker color of the same shade. So here I've got, you don't see it there, it looks white, but I pick it up and I can see there's mauve on the brush. So I'm going to just try and outline this flower like that, and this one as well. Now I just don't want to leave those bits sticking up because, well, there's so much texture in this painting already. That's why I don't really want to add a whole lot more. So this is mauve, and then I've got some blue as well, which I'll get to decide what I'm going to do with that. Although they are not dry yet, the colours are starting to show through. You can see the mauve there and the blue there. There was some darkish colour under there. I don't know if there was a bit of green in there. And there as well, it's blue. And there, these aren't showing up yet. But I'm wondering if, since there's so much red here, they might not just stay a pinkish reddish colour. Anyway, I'm going to now add a bit of gold to this clump of yellow up here, just to see. No, it's not showing. This makes them kind of a daisy there. No, it's not really showing. Anyway, so I've got some yellow. So the pearlescent colours are showing up, although they're not quite dry yet, but you can see the blue shining through there, and the mauve there, and there's the blue shining through as well. There was some darker colour under there, but I'm not sure what it was. But it's showing up. Quite a bit of texture on this painting. Anyway, so I wanted to use some gold here, but it didn't show up at all on the yellow, to just turn this yellow into something. So I'm going to have to use a darker colour if I want to turn it into a tulip, to show that centre bud. Because this yellow that I have is a semi-transparent yellow, and it's not going to show up much. So I'll have to use yellow ochre or something when this is dry. Or if I mix the yellow with white, it might show through. So that's how I'm going to do them. And obviously where there is a lot of gold, I'm going to try and save all that gold. Yellow gold. The pearlescent gold. So where there are big clumps of yellow like here, I'm going to try and just outline it. And see if I can save as much of the original design as possible. I don't want them to be sunflowers. Well, I've tried two different ways of using the yellow. Here I used the yellow completely to fill in the petals, and here I just did the outline. And I'm not liking either of them. So now I've mixed the yellow with some white, and I think that will make a more pleasing colour. And closer to a daffodil, not a tulip. Did I say? I love daffodils. And I didn't want them to be sunflowers, simply because I'm going to do sunflowers in another painting, where I will be starting from fresh with an acrylic pour. And hopefully shaping it into what I want it to be. So that's what I'm doing here, and some of it I will just leave like that. That will just be part of the flowers in the background. You know, it is an abstract flower painting, not as abstract as it was to begin with, but it's going to be, the background's going to be somewhat abstract realism.